Hi Saints, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to take a look at Rihanna. First of all, I love her, so I was so excited to talk about this today, but I wanted to take a look at something that I feel like we all kind of forgot, which is the fact that around the same time that she started her lingerie brand, she also had a clothing business that she came out with, a luxury clothing line called Fenty Collection. I was scrolling through Twitter and somebody linked an interesting article from Daily Mail, and I'm going to pull that up right now. But in the article, they basically explained how Rihanna and her advisors are gearing up to take her lingerie company Savage X Fenty public through an initial offering that could value the company at $3 billion. First of all, that made me excited already. I know she's actually creating stores, and I remember seeing the initial designs for what the stores would look like. I think right now it's only in LA, but it just looked so beautiful, so amazing, so different. I was like, yes. When I saw that article, I just kind of thought about her entire journey as a fashion mogul, basically, and I was like, didn't she have a luxury clothing brand? And for some reason, I completely forgot. And it's crazy because I remember when it first initially came out 2 or 3 years ago, there was a lot of hype because, first of all, Rihanna is a queen of fashion. So everybody was so excited. They're like, oh my God, what is it gonna look like? I remember she had, I think she still might have a deal with Puma, and I remember I got her slides because that's all I could afford, but I know she came out with all the Fenty University slides, the beautiful shoes that were good. Those were extremely successful. And then she geared up for a luxury line of clothing, glasses, and I believe shoes. And I remember it came out 2 or 3 years ago because I was just entering my freshman era of college, and I remember I wanted those pieces so bad because I saw it on Rihanna. In my head, I was like, oh my God, if it looked good on Rihanna, then there's a possibility that it's going to look good on me.
You're a dreamer. You dream a lot in your sleep.
No, not really. I know.
Yes, you do.
No, I
yes,
don't.
you do.
Unfortunately, I couldn't afford it, so I just remember going on YouTube, obsessing over people's reviews, seeing all the videos, and the common consensus was basically that it wasn't up to par with what they expected Rihanna to release, how it wasn't of quality, and how basically it wasn't interesting. I was like, you know, disappointed, of course, but I expected with every luxury company, you get better as time go on. You get to experiment with different items. For some reason, it just faded into obscurity, and now that she's having massive success with Fenty Beauty, Fenty Skin, as well as Savage X Fenty, I was curious as to what exactly happened to the clothing line. Eventually, I would have bought a piece. Like, I love me some Rihanna. You guys already know. First of all, she's in the background. She will be in the background looking over me in every single video, but like, I bought 2 of these. I believe it's on the same day, so I probably need to throw them out. Like, she does no wrong. Right now on my face, I have just Fenty concealer, a little bit of lip gloss. I like to, lately I've been doing very light makeup. That's just my vibe for right now, but you know, it's subject to change. Eventually, I would have bought something from that collection and tried it on myself and see what I could do with it, but it just kind of disappeared. And so I did a little bit of research, and I'm going to give you guys the tea as to what exactly happened. I came across 2 articles that I feel like really broke it down in a way that I could understand. So the very first article was an article from Forbes by Roxanne Robinson, and it's titled "Why Rihanna's Fenty Clothing Line Has Been Put to an End." And this article basically goes into how they decided to take a hiatus, the people behind Rihanna's Fenty clothing line, how she became the first woman of color to partner with LVMH, which is a luxury conglomerate that is mainly known for acquiring and reviving existing luxury brands. It went into how the debut collection for Fenty was in May of 2019, how it represented the greatest hits of the singer's wardrobe and was executed with Fenty's number 2 creative, Jaleel Weaver, which is her longtime stylist. It went into how it's basically supposed to release new collections 4 times a year, basically with the seasons, as is typical with a lot of luxury brands, and how a lot of the Fenty collection items were priced between $180 and $940 or up to $1,000. It was gearing up to be this major, amazing, successful thing. And she had all the right components. You had Rihanna, you had her creative stylist, you had the backing of a luxury conglomerate. She had all the components to make the perfect luxury collection, especially considering she's the first woman of color. 2, her fans are going to support her with anything and everything she does. And 3, she has a history of knowledge when it comes to fashion, so who wouldn't want to support it? No matter how expensive it is, who wouldn't want to support it? Unfortunately, the articles go into how there are a lot of unforeseeable circumstances. How because of the global pandemic, we went into lockdown. The luxury company, which is based in France, she wasn't able to go there in person and give her own creative direction. How the hype around the Fenty collection kind of fizzled out. And they recognized, and she recognized herself as a businesswoman, that is better to take a step back as soon as possible rather than push through and possibly end up being in debt. And there's the fact that a lot of the reviews that were coming out weren't necessarily positive. A lot of people were giving their honest opinions, which I expect everybody to give their honest opinions with everything, but especially with something that costs a lot of money. You want something of quality, something that's really nice, something that you can wear more than once, hopefully, something that actually looks good. And for the most part, they found a lot of the items to be boring. They found that it wasn't practical for a lot of events and how it's not something you would necessarily wear more than once. So a lot of people were disappointed. They were really excited about the shoes. I know the shoes were a huge success on YouTube. Classes were nice, but it was mainly the clothing line that wasn't up to par. And because they went into lockdown, they weren't able to push out a lot of the collections that they wanted to, mainly because they weren't able to have the time to actually put everything together because everybody is scattered, global pandemic. Where are you going to wear these items? Nowhere. You're on lockdown. It's so interesting to me because while everybody was on lockdown, Savage X Fenty was doing amazing, sweet.
Kim, you're doing amazing, sweetie.
Push this knee out.
I think it's mainly because it's affordable. It's way more affordable than her Fenty collections. Everybody needs some lingerie and you can wear it inside. Lingerie is meant to be worn inside and everybody's inside just trying to look good for them, their significant other, or themselves. So a lot of people were investing into her Savage X Fenty and Fenty Beauty collections during the pandemic, and not more so into her luxury clothing brand, which it all makes sense, I think. There's another article by the New York Times that talks about how Rihanna and LVMH are taking a break. And in the article, it basically describes that starting a new luxury fashion house from scratch is enormously expensive for any investor and usually takes time. But 2020 was the worst year for the luxury sector in history. While LVMH, the largest luxury group by sales, reported a sales rebound in recent months, largely fueled by Chinese consumers. Lockdowns continue to cause ongoing disruptions and dampened group profit. Unlike some other LVMH brands that have proved resilient during the downturn, like Louis Vuitton and Dior, the bold experiment that was the Fenty clothing line struggled to find its footing. Something Jean-Jacques Gourmet, LVMH chief financial officer, alluded to last October while on a news call reporting the group's third quarter 2020 results. It seems like everything was just, the timing was horrible. A lot of the major luxury clothing brands that we think about today have been around for hundreds of years, almost like decades and decades and decades. They've been in the game for a long time, and a lot of the times it's a family business. Gucci, Chanel, Dior, like these luxury clothing brands have been around for a long time. They've gotten the chance to experiment, to succeed and fail, learn from their mistakes, go forward, able to rebrand, the whole nine. They've gotten to experience it. And I would like to give Fenty collection some type of grace because it was a new collection that came out a couple years ago. Nobody could have predicted that there would be a global pandemic. I think it was just all about timing, Fenty collection's infancy, especially when going up against other luxury clothing brands. It wasn't meant to be affordable, but it wasn't really practical during a global pandemic. Of course, I would like to end on a positive note because I honestly think that this is something that anybody could have predicted. I just thought it was so interesting because it seemed to be something that we all kind of forgot happened, especially considering how successful she has been with everything else. She released Fenty Skin, and that has been absolutely amazing. She's glowing as a new mother, well, soon to be mother. I feel like in the near future she will be gearing up to relaunch Fenty collection, this time 100% prepared, with more knowledge as a businesswoman, more connections than ever before, and a little bit more I feel like creative independence, because now we trust a lot of people. I feel like we'll be able to put 110% trust into her and what she's doing. She has proven to be successful with everything else, so I feel like that was just like one of those rare flukes that just, it wasn't meant to be in that time. And I think now more than ever we are ready for Fenty collection to come back. We are excited for some new items. Like, imagine Rihanna designing a corset. I would freaking imagine Rihanna designing a bucket hat. First of all, you guys know I love me some bucket hats. There isn't one for this video, unfortunately, but I just been very into hats recently. I just don't know why, but I can really imagine Rihanna doing amazing things. Her, when it comes to accessories, she just don't miss. When it comes to her style, she rarely misses, because I don't feel like she's always been in charge of her style, and sometimes you can really tell who may have had an influence on her style, and sometimes it doesn't come out the best. Honestly, my dream is for Rihanna to dominate the luxury fashion industry, for her to just become a trillionaire and dominate the world with her beauty and influence. That's it. That's all I want. I feel like the closest we'll get to world peace is when Rihanna decides to re-release a Fenty collection that is top tier, the best thing that anybody have ever seen. Like, can you imagine? Her Savage X Fenty fashion shows are already on another level. They're so diverse, they're so beautiful, they're just the epitome of perfection. So can you imagine Rihanna having a luxury fashion brand and her making a fashion show for it? It will be spectacular. It will be the best thing we've ever seen in our entire lives. I feel like I would be speechless. So I am really excited for that. Last but not least, as this video is coming to an end, I just wanted to quickly thank you guys for 3 subscribers. I know 3 subscribers to a lot of people means nothing at all. Like, 3 people liked your content, okay, wow. But for me, it means so much, because that means 3 people liked my content enough to subscribe and want to see more. And I take a person doing that extra effort as meaning way more than just watching. Like, it means the world to me. And I've always been a YouTuber, like, but on the other side of things, I've always been a consumer of all these YouTube videos. But now I'm creating my own content that makes me happy, that makes me excited, that honestly is just the best part of my day. And I say this in every freaking video, but honestly, I can't imagine a day going by where I genuinely don't feel the urge to film something. You guys know I have so much going on in my mind at all times that I just need to be able to put it out there. And also, I've been on my very want to be alone, want to preserve my peace. I'm not in the mood to really socialize, so this has been an amazing outlet for me, so I'm very grateful. And to the 3 saints who decided to subscribe, I love you guys so much. And everybody else who's watching this, of course, I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, evening, or night, wherever you are. I just hope the vibes are good. And can I just say, I've been very excited because I've been slowly learning so many new things. I've been learning how to edit a little bit more. I've been learning what I want my intro and outro to be. Like, little things like that just makes me so excited, because it's progress for me, and I love me some progress. So I love you guys. Mwah.